your news. This is 69 News Weekend Edition, live at 6.
A tractor-trailer carrying a corrosive chemical overturns early this morning, resulting in what authorities called a potential threat for Wind Gap, Northampton County. 33,000 pounds of hydrogen fluoride was inside the tank, and pressure releases from it had everyone on edge.
Get out. That was the word from emergency service coordinators this morning. Those living within a 1-mile radius of the accident scene were told to evacuate. So families packed up for a trip to Penargil High School, while some others stayed put.
Good evening. I'm John Derr.
And I'm Karin Mallett.
An overnight fuel tanker accident shut down a huge stretch of Route 33 all day today.
Here's a look at where it all happened. The big rig tipped over in the southbound lanes of 33 near mile marker 17 in Plainfield Township. Remarkably, no one was seriously injured. Because of the chemical spill, though, thousands of residents nearby were evacuated from their homes as a precaution. But that evacuation order was lifted about 2 hours ago. So families who left their homes are now returning.
Now let's go to WFMZ's Jackie Shutack is live right off of 33 at the 512 Wind Gap exit. Jackie, what can you tell us right now?
Hey, John. Well, behind me on 33, all lanes of traffic are now moving. Those lanes were gradually reopened just a few minutes ago. The truck that caused this whole accident and traffic delay has since been moved. It was a very frustrating day for drivers sitting and waiting on 33. Traffic snarled for miles on 33 Saturday afternoon, drivers waiting patiently to get off the highway and away from an overturned fuel tanker carrying 33,000 pounds of the corrosive chemical hydrogen fluoride. Just after 2:30 in the morning, police say the truck driver swerved to miss a deer. The truck overturned. A passenger in the truck walked away from the accident. The driver was taken to the hospital and treated for minor injuries. As for the corrosive chemical carried by the truck, some of it leaked onto the road and is now contained.
The spill was actually a dripping which was occurring from a leaking valve that probably got jarred during the slide down 33 down the mountain.
Drivers sat in traffic waiting to get off the highway and away from the mess.
The traffic wasn't too bad until we got to this point, and we've been stuck in it about a half hour.
About a half an hour so far.
Frustrating?
Yeah, it is.
Everyone in line had to hang on to the right attitude.
Hang out, enjoy the weather.
For that truck, it's now on its way to the ports in Philadelphia where that chemical will be drained. In all, about 9.3 miles of highway were closed today. Certainly a very long and frustrating day for everyone that was involved. For now, reporting in Wind Gap, Jackie Shutack, 69 News.
All right, thanks, Jackie. And as Jackie said, 33 just reopening a few minutes ago. So.
Yes, so good news.
Yes, very good news. Now, as Jackie mentioned, this entire incident started with a deer on the highway.
And just after 2:30 this morning, that tractor-trailer carrying hydrogen fluoride swerved to miss that deer, and so began a day of nerve-wracking twists and turns. This is an aerial photo of what the accident looked like thanks to the Pocono Record. The driver of the 2005 Freightliner was 54-year-old Raymond LeBlanc from Ontario, Canada. He was treated and released from the hospital earlier. His passenger, 51-year-old Joseph Dalt, also from Ontario, was not hurt in the accident.
Traffic detours were the name of the game across the Lehigh Valley today. Vehicles were backed up for miles on Route 33 this morning and into the afternoon. And here's a look at some of the detours. Anyone headed north should probably take routes 191 or 611 north, or the PA Turnpike's northeast extension to Route 209 north or 180 east. And if you're headed out of the mountains, 209 south and 80 west to the Turnpike, Route 611 and 191 south are your best bets. And here's the Northampton County Emergency Hotline for calls on information related to this emergency. That number is 610-746-3194, extension 710.
So what is hydrogen fluoride? It is a chemical compound that can be a colorless gas or fuming liquid. It's commonly used in industry. It's a very corrosive compound and contact poison, meaning it can be absorbed through the skin or any other tissue. If you come into contact with the chemical, you may not see the symptoms right away. They can take up to 24 hours to appear. The symptoms to look for include a burning sensation and visible burns on the skin.
The truck turnover had Penargil High School acting as a temporary shelter, at least for a few hundred residents living within a 1-mile radius of the scene.
Our team coverage continues tonight with WFMZ's Bo Koltnow, who was in Penargil all day.
John and Karen, the school doors opened at 7:30 this morning. School officials told me they were prepared for a 24-hour stay. But luckily, the amount of time people actually had to be here was a lot shorter than that. At 91 and a half years old, heading back to school was probably the last thing on Alberta Thomas's mind this morning. What's today been like?
Hectic.
But school is where she was today. Around 7:30, she, along with the rest of those living at the Wind Gap Senior Apartments, were bused to Penargil High School.
My daughter said, pack your bag, take your medication, and get out of there.
The result of the tanker turnover on Route 33. About 200 people living within a 1-mile radius of the scene turned the high school into a temporary shelter.
Everybody's very pleasant. Everybody has, answers all your questions right away, and they provided food and drinks.
Food was donated. Penargil buses picked up those without rides. Vans retrieved forgotten medication. Pets were welcomed. Even entertainment provided for the young and old.
62.
As a game of bingo
74
broke out to keep the almost 70 senior citizens in a comfort zone. All part of the emergency plan that Penargil Superintendent Dr. William Haberly says his school district has been practicing.
Yeah, it's been a real good practice, and we'll debrief on it, and I'm sure some things we've probably done wrong, but I think for the most part, we've probably got a hit 4 out of 5 times on this one, so I think we're doing good.
The school says it was prepared for a 24-hour stay.
Are you going to Walden?
But around 4, residents got the news they'd been waiting for. That's when they were told they could go home. What are you going to do when you get home?
I'm going to pet my cats.
The good news is we were told that nobody suffered any ill effects from the tanker turnover. The Pennsylvania State Police did applaud the school district on how they handled today's events. Here in Penargil, Northampton County, Bo Koltnow, 69 News.
Bo, thanks so much. Despite emergency officials' evacuation notice, some people stayed put in Wind Gap. This was how the borough looked earlier after the order was given to get out. While most stores and restaurants were empty, firefighters, police, and other officials stayed behind. Wind Gap Mayor Mitch Mogiliski says those who evacuated either stayed at schools like Penargil High or with relatives. The mayor praised emergency crews for remaining calm and working in sync.
Everybody coming together, which made it happen. They work so diligently together. It's like they work with each other every day, but in a sense they do, but they're all new faces to each other, but they're working hand in hand to get a job done.
The mayor says he's never seen the tight-knit borough empty out quite like it did today.
Well, because of the accident, there were also some concerns about the weather today. Let's check in with meteorologist Amanda Cox to see just how the weather played into this morning's accident.
And we were watching the weather earlier, and actually we had some very good conditions. High pressure was overhead. That allowed for some dry conditions and also light winds, so we didn't have to worry about the gas blowing anywhere, and it was very easy to keep it contained. The high pressure system was right overhead during the day on Saturday, and that really helped to keep some very light winds across the area. It also gave us very quiet conditions that were around. Just saw a few clouds here and there, but for the most part, fairly quiet conditions. Didn't have to worry about any rain mixing with anything that was in the tanker, so it was a fairly easy way for them to really start to clean up this mess that did happen throughout the day. We are seeing our winds picking up a little bit right now, but earlier they were not a problem, and we think that they were able to really help to get it a lot quicker and get things cleaned up a lot faster to get people where they needed to go because of the weather being on their side and allowing for things to get the way they needed to go. So it was a really good turnout, and we did watch it, but it was a fairly nice day, whether you were cleaning up something or just spending time outside. Karen?
All right, thanks so much, Amanda.
Well, today's hazmat accident has already provoked viewer reaction,
including one person who says drivers should be made aware of the cargo they are hauling. He should have hit the deer unless he was going at such a high speed that he couldn't stop. He should be held accountable for his actions. That from a viewer. And to share your thoughts on the accident, please email us at yourtake@WFMZ.com or just go to the homepage where you can click right on the link.
Still to come on 69 News Weekend Edition.
A week after an arson destroys 2 Coatesville homes, more arsons appear. Next, why these
save on new bedrooms.
Emergency management officials have been working around the clock today dealing with that hazmat accident in Northampton County.
So let's check in again on the progress out on Route 33 with WFMZ's Jackie Shutack. Jackie.
Hey there, Karen. Well, again, all lanes are reopened behind me on Route 33. We just wrapped up a press conference where the members of state, federal, and state and local agencies all praised one another for a cooperative effort that really kept today's incident under control. The traffic is moving, the truck has been cleared away, and everyone that was evacuated has since returned home. Now, hydrogen fluoride, we were told, is a very dangerous and corrosive chemical, and exposure in large amounts could be deadly. So, fortunately, the small leak that occurred today was cleaned up quickly, and the crews worked very hard to make sure that this incident did not grow to be something bigger than it was. So, at this point in time, all lanes are now reopened, everyone's returned home, and thankfully, this incident is now under control. Reporting in Wind Gap, Jackie Shutack, 69 News.
All right, thanks a lot, Jackie.
Thanks, Jackie.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, state police say today's ordeal in Wind Gap got started with a deer.
So it's only fitting we close out the newscast with one. This deer dropped by, very bravely, a Wind Gap fire station around noon today. No word if this was the same one which caused this morning's crash. But after hanging out with the firefighters for a few minutes, the antlerless creature ambled back into the woods, maybe in search of a midday snack. Brave.
Yeah, brave. He looked very calm, too.
He did.
Yeah.
He sure did.
Just chilling.
Yeah, on a day's work for a deer, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Raise the fire station.
Well, that'll do it for 69 News at 6. We'll be back again with more local news tonight at 10.
Remember to stay logged on to WFMZ.com for the latest on this morning's Hazmat accident in Northampton County.
For everyone here at 69 News, I'm John Derr.
And I'm Karin Mallett. Have a great evening, and we'll see you at 10. She threatened to...
Morning at 5 and 10, right here on 69 WFMZ TV. Your life, your world, your news. This is 69 News Weekend Edition, live at 10.
Things are back to normal tonight on Route 33 and in Wind Gap, but that was not the case for most of the day. After a truck carrying a hazardous material overturns on the highway, an evacuation order was given for people in Wind Gap, and Route 33 was shut down for about 15 hours. Now, the truck was carrying hydrogen fluoride. That's a corrosive chemical that can be deadly. Some of it leaked, and hazmat crews worked quickly to contain it.
As a precaution, people living and working within a mile of the spill were evacuated. WFMZ's Jackie Shutack joins us in the studio now with those details. Jackie.
Well, Karen, it was a cooperative effort today. Firefighters told us tonight that they had to be careful and stay upwind of the accident because the hydrogen fluoride can be a deadly chemical. That's why numerous state and local agencies worked closely and thoroughly to clean up the mess and keep everyone safe. You can see how hard the tanker hit the median when it skidded to a stop early Saturday morning. Its cab badly scraped and damaged by the impact. Around 2:40 a.m., the driver, 54-year-old Raymond LeBlanc of Ontario, Canada, swerved to miss a deer. His truck turned on its side, and soon after, some of the hydrogen fluoride inside started to leak.
The spill was actually a dripping which was occurring from a leaking valve that probably got jarred during the slide down 33 down the mountain.
Hazmat crews quickly contained that leak. The driver was treated and released from Pocono Medical Center. His passenger, Joseph Dalt, walked away unharmed. As a precaution, people living within a mile of the spill were evacuated. Emergency officials say the situation could have been much worse.
If we had had a more significant leak, we would have had significant challenges. If you're exposed to this at any kind of concentrations, it can be deadly.
A few miles south of the accident, traffic snarled well into the afternoon as drivers sat in line, unaware of the potential danger ahead.
The traffic wasn't too bad until we got to this point, and we've been stuck in it about a half hour.
About a half an hour so far.
Frustrating?
Yeah, it is.
Well, numerous state and local agencies worked together, and they should be credited for resolving the situation and keeping everyone calm. As for the truck, it's now in South Philadelphia, where the chemical will be drained and used for industrial work. John, Karen?
All right, thanks a lot, Jackie. And about 200 people living within a 1-mile radius of the accident were forced to evacuate. Many spent the day at Penn Argyl High School. Residents started showing up at the high school around 7:30 this morning. They stayed until about 3:45 this afternoon. Penn Argyl buses picked up people without rides, and there was plenty of donated food available. Volunteers helped make the afternoon run smoothly.
This is such a tight-knit community, and everybody came together to help everyone, and certainly the school district as well. So we were proud to be a part of it today, and I'm glad that it turned out the way that it did.
And no one got sick from the chemical leak. Not everyone, though, evacuated Wind Gap. This was how the borough looked after the evacuation order was given. While most stores and restaurants were empty, some residents stayed. Firefighters, police, and other officials also remained. Wind Gap's mayor praised emergency crews for remaining calm and working in sync.
Everybody coming together, which made it happen. You know, they work so diligently together. You know, it's like they work with each other every day, but in a sense they do, but they're all new faces to each other, but they're working hand in hand to get a job done.
The mayor says he's never seen the tight-knit borough empty out quite like it did today.
That evacuation was important because the chemical that spilled, hydrogen fluoride, can be quite dangerous. It's a chemical compound that can be a colorless gas or fuming liquid. It's a corrosive compound and contact poison, meaning it can be absorbed through the skin or any other tissue. If you come into contact with hydrogen fluoride, the symptoms may take up to 24 hours to appear. You might have visible burns on your skin or have a burning sensation.